Mass adoption? How to use crypto for payments.
I'm Michael Greenberg. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer, co-founder of a company called Damex, which is based in Gibraltar. We were, I'd like to say, one of the first 3 fully regulated OTC and crypto payment companies in Gibraltar, which means that we have a very, very strong license, and also that comes under the United Kingdom. So I'm here today, really, really good to be here. I used to actually live here a long time ago, so it's really, really good to be back. And it's great that you're having an event here, pushing the Balkans again, so good to be here. I think what we're talking about today is kind of a little bit about mass adoption, the crypto payment space itself and how it correlates with gaming. So we've got 4 sort of veterans within the industry that I'm going to let them introduce themselves one by one. So I'll start with Nils. Thank you.
Yes, good morning. I'm Nils Ortiz. I'm CEO and co-founder of Paypolitan. That's a payment app. Allows you to pay with crypto and fiat. And we started last year. And as of today, we have 270,000 users.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sami, Sipila. I'm the CEO of HouseMaster, a blockchain startup. We are basically on a mission to put the billions of dollars sitting idle in online gaming accounts to work.
Hi, I'm Yasaswy and the CEO and co-founder of Yasaswy Finance. What we are building is on a thesis of to enable decentralized due diligence, audit, and arbitration in the crypto ecosystem, actually.
Good morning, everyone. I am Aleksandar, Matanović, CEO and co-founder of local crypto exchange ECD.rs.
Great. Okay. So I think so if we kick off with the first question, quite an open question to Nils on my left here. What do we see are the sort of the biggest hurdles in general, I guess, for mass adoption at the moment?
Something very interesting when I came with a taxi here. I took a Yandex to the show, and the taxi driver, he dropped me here, and he asked me, what is this conference about? And I said, blockchain. And then he said, oh, that's not for me, I'm too old. Maybe he was like in the 50s, and it's true, it's a generational problem. Maybe even my father, who is approaching the 80s, he now understands blockchain, even so he's still saying Nils is doing something with Bitcoin. Even so I don't do anything with Bitcoin, but that's okay. And the biggest thing is, the biggest challenge is, I hear very often mass adoption. So when it comes then to the fact check, I have to say is rather poor. Recently I read that Emirates is accepting crypto payments for the flight tickets. And of course I said, hey, cool, I'm flying like several times a year to Dubai, which is a new a blockchain mecca, right?
I would say that like that's where the business happens. That's where the magic happens for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I searched the Emirates website when it came to payment, like for 20 minutes, and there was simply no crypto payment. It's simply it was maybe only a PR announcement. Also, Rakuten in Japan announced that they would accept crypto payments. If you go to the Rakuten pages, different pages they have around the globe, you can pay nowhere with crypto. So the willingness is sometimes there, I would say, among crypto adopters. And the only time in my life where I could pay with crypto everywhere was at Bitcoin 22 last year in Miami. But that was a bit a different story because, this year, sorry. Because that was a Bitcoin conference, so you had to pay with Bitcoin. So, but in daily life, we are still very far away from that.
Okay, great, interesting. And then I guess what I want to roll out now is a question to sort of ask, carrying on from mass adoption, especially within the gaming industry, where we feel crypto payments are useful and why gaming companies we know they're using them already, but why they should be using crypto as a method to transfer funds. If anyone wants to answer that. Yeah.
I'm happy to go forward with that. So especially with a lot of the new tokens, the transaction fees are extremely low compared to using fiat. So that provides obvious incentive for the moderator to actually try to increase the share of crypto payments of their total revenue. Another point, still like returning to the previous what Nils mentioned, I think still making crypto payments is not only quite difficult in many cases, but in addition, there is not a lot of motivation actually at the moment for the people to. Why would I use crypto instead of my Visa or MasterCard, for example? So.
Yeah, sure, because I think when we spoke just before, roughly around 10% of players, maybe not even that, are actually depositing crypto to go on to then play a game. Although it's growing, yeah, it's still pretty low. So what could it be that would maybe entice people to get more involved and to pay with crypto?
Well, basically the operators are saving a massive amount of money if the crypto adoption grows. So it's in their best interest to motivate players to use crypto rather than fiat. So there are different like rewarding mechanisms. We are working on one ourselves, for example, to show players that hey, switch from fiat to crypto, and you are going to receive yield on your gaming account. So now the operator has a client who has more money, and the player actually has more money to play as well.
Okay. I just sort of wanted to add something into that as well. Just being a company within Gibraltar and working with some of the big operators, the metaverse is having quite a big effect in terms of converting players to actually deposit crypto into a crypto-based online casino, simply because you're already in that world. You've already purchased a particular cryptocurrency. And then a lot of the betting companies now, especially the smaller to mid-size companies, they have embraced crypto as a payment. It's new traffic, it's new customers, of course, but they accept multiple coins through quite a few companies such as us, Coins Paid behind, who has a lot of competition. So it is happening, and there's different ways to convert for sure.
In fact, I want to add on that.
Yeah.
See, Visa last year processed nearly $2.5 billion worth of crypto transactions in tie-up with multiple exchanges or Crypto.com or any other cards. Actually, they started issuing cards. Actually, in fact, I normally book my travel tickets through Travala. I don't normally. I use my USDC. Or stable coins actually to buy my like this flight ticket I would have bought through Travala actually. So these are the small steps. One of my friend who lives in Germany, so she's been accumulating points, cashbacks through CRO tokens using her Crypto.com card, and she's purchasing all her all her regular purchases are through the Crypto.com Visa card actually. So that way it enables and when these are integrated with gaming platforms, like the Crypto.com or other this one, with these operators are integrated with the gaming platforms, you can onboard more people.
Sami's got something.
Yeah, I'm very familiar, so I'm accumulating a lot of CRO as well. But what Yash is referring exactly is that you have to have a bonus mechanism that rewards people to actually use the crypto, because there is a benefit for the operator. Now let's split the benefit. Let's find mechanisms to actually reward the end user for utilizing the crypto and split the benefit somehow to the end customer as well.
I would like to add, there is also not only the pair, but also the commerce receiving that, because what you mentioned with the Visa card payments, if you dig deeper. So how much has to be transformed into fiat through a virtual OTC, and how many commerces actually receive the payment in crypto? Because let's say if we take $1,000 transaction, maybe 5% are really accepting a crypto, and all the others said, yeah, you can pay with crypto, but on my account I won't have US dollars.
Because in the end of the day, they need to pay their rents or salaries in the bills in fiat. So that is still a long way to go, where I think stable coins definitely add value to that. Stable coins, because we can pay our salaries or rentals in stable coins.
Unless they are not Luna, right?
Unless they're USD, yes.
Okay, great. Aleksandar down the end, sorry. Did you want to add anything there in particular? Or?
Yes. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. When you're talking about mass adoption and what are the obstacles, I see basically three main obstacles. One is technical complexity, which is something that Nils had started with, like especially for older people. It's something they don't want even to. They don't even want to try. The other thing is a regulatory obstacle, because in some country it's forbidden to pay with crypto. In some country it's allowed. For example, in Serbia you can pay in crypto, but only if you have a payment processor like intermediary. So the merchant cannot receive crypto. He has to receive local currency. The customer pays in crypto, then the intermediary does the conversion, and merchant receives local currency. And basically, although it's allowed to pay in crypto for customers' perspective, it's not something that people would do, because paying with crypto actually here is a taxable event, because it counts as selling crypto and then paying with dinars. So if you sell with profit, you have to fill in the tax form. So no one will pay with crypto if you have to fill in the tax form after that. It's very, very inconvenient. And the third obstacle for, especially for people who really are into crypto, is that they simply don't want to pay with crypto because they believe it will appreciate with time. So they pay with fiat, which depreciates with time, and they keep the crypto because they think it's a better long-term investment. So I think the push for adoption is not very likely to come from customer side, because the customers are, for several reasons, mostly not incentivized to pay with crypto. It would have to come more from the merchant side. If merchant sees the value in getting the crypto and keeping crypto, then we can hope for better adoption. I mean, there are stable coins which solve the second and the third problem, because if you pay with stable coins, there is no taxable event, because you don't earn anything from selling stable coins. And also, stable coins don't appreciate with time. But there is another problem with them, which we found out this year, is that they are not always stable.
Yep, we had a big hack, didn't we? Right, so next question. Sorry, Yash, got a question for you, I think. It's so how do you think regulation would possibly positively impact crypto payments in general?
So when Alex mentioned about the technical complexity, right? The push from the customers, when it's too complex, this one, it's only for the tech geeks, or initially, I mean, like Bitcoin started with tech people actually, and then started, because of the incentivization, it went on to regular people, and initially co-founders of the projects or people within the ecosystem. So it's going a bit outside, but most of the people are in crypto because of the gains. But as a payment solution, if it has to come in, the governments using CBDC methodology, or regulating crypto, or by passing laws, have to open channels for merchants or the users or the crypto companies to actually, for better use cases. So when governments accept it and governments push regulations positively for crypto, it will be accepted. If you take an example of UPI, United Payments Interface in India, which has processed nearly 6.5 billion transactions last year alone. It's one of the best payment mechanisms. Today, I can see even fruit vendors or street vendors on roadside carts accepting QR code payments. And this entire transactions are done for free, no transaction at all, real-time payments. So that's because the Indian government pushed for digital payments in the last 5 years. Yeah. And today we have nearly 90% of Indian payments are happening through online. So a government push can definitely help in big way. Yeah. And crypto is basically a global technology. So even for countries which cannot actually have the resources to create their own infrastructure, digital payment infrastructure, they can use decentralized infrastructures for crypto payments.
May I just add one thing? I mean, we have seen this in China with WeChat Pay, but the reasoning behind from the Chinese state was not, let's say, so friendly. They simply want to control, because in China you had huge amount of money that was simply around, that was never declared. Now the state knows exactly how much money every citizen has and where you spend it. So regulation, on one hand, I understand. So put some rules in this jungle. But on the other hand, if it's only in order to get a transparent citizen and no more money under the pillow in my bed, so maybe that's not the best solution.
In the end, the governments want their cut of the money. So they, even decentralized solutions promise the transactional transparency, because on blockchain, we don't know what's the wallet, who owns the wallet, but we know there's money in this wallet. That's not the case with the banks. They're more centralized structures.
Okay, great. I think we've got about 5 minutes left. So I think there was one last question, or we can also roll out if anyone else would like to ask some questions. Who's actually using crypto for payments? Which industries? I think we know, well, we're at one now, and that's definitely a big industry, I know, for us. And Alex, you adhered just now to the stable coins, and that's exactly...
Well, at first, people within the crypto industry, most of the projects that they're basically started in crypto industry are paying their contractors, their employees in tokens or in crypto. Then also people who basically have no other choice, because for some people it's hard to move money, especially internationally. We are certainly not the worst in that aspect, but not the best either. It's not very easy to move the money in Serbia and from Serbia. For example, it took me almost 2 months earlier this year to send some money to US, and it was not millions. It was not a significant amount of money, but because of the paperwork with bank and all the proofs that I had to provide that it wasn't stolen, although the money was sitting on the account for years probably, I still had to prove the origin of that money. If I could use crypto in that specific transaction, I would have done that, because it would take me 5 minutes instead of 2 months. So for those who have a hard time paying otherwise, the crypto is basically the easiest way and the cheapest way and the fastest way to send money internationally. It's just not always convenient either for the merchant who accept that money, and also it may incur some additional costs. For example, if you want to basically send fiat and you want the recipient to receive fiat, but you use crypto only as a way to get that fiat across the ocean, for example, then you have double exchange costs on both sides, so it's less convenient. There are also people who want to preserve their privacy, or also people who do some illegal stuff. I mean, media usually wants to present that as a majority population when it comes to crypto users, but it's not like that. To be honest, we have to count them anyway, because there are some people who are using crypto because it's difficult to trace and they can get around regulations.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, on the B2B side, cross-border, let's call it cross-border settlements, using USDT and different stablecoins to transfer currencies and then swap that back to your native fiat is always going to be an advantage for sort of high-risk merchants. I think that really was about it on the questions, but is anyone else out there got any questions they'd like to ask? Hey, so, I'll give you the mic.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for your time. I have a question. I work in the Web3 space since maybe 1 year, and I've heard a lot of things and some options to receive money as a crypto in a sense of payments of a salary. How do you see that in future?
Well, it depends first what kind of crypto you want to be paid in. I would accept personally USDC and Ether, eventually Bitcoin. But the other currencies, then are you ready to take up the volatility or not? A little anecdote. Last week I booked a ticket for the Token 2049 conference, or 2 weeks ago, and I had two options: pay in crypto, pay in fiat. Fiat was $499, and the crypto was double price, was $1,000 the ticket in USDT. So I was wondering, is there something new out about USDT that they tumble like Luna? So it depends, unfortunately, on your own willingness to accept risk on volatility or not. And this is also, I think, a big hurdle for mass adoption. If one is tomorrow only 10 cents or one is tomorrow 2, of course, if it's 2, I take it. But the 10 cents, oh no, I didn't know it would happen like that.
Yeah, I think it's a practical way. Depends, of course, of the employee. So at HouseMaster, most of the employees are actually receiving their salary in cryptos.
In fact, all my management level employees and the top employees are actually, we are paying them in USDT Tether or USDC, which are of their choice. Not Bitcoin Ether because they're fluctuating. It's their choice. If they want to buy Bitcoin or Ether later on, they can use that to buy. But yeah, we are able to convince all our top level employees to actually accept their salaries in crypto, in stable coins.
Can I have one more question, Aleksandar? You mentioned that, of course, paying with crypto in Serbia is a bit of a headache for adoption. But I'm wondering, there was this hiccup also with the licensing. How did that story turn out? I know the licenses were not actually distributed to these crypto middlemen for quite some time, and I didn't catch up with the updates of that story. So there were two types of licenses. One was like brokerage, and the other one was for exchanges. What is the current situation in that regard?
Where basically you can apply for the license for 9 different types of crypto services. Brokerage is one, payment is the other one, and there are 7 more. And you can choose which to apply for. You can apply for all 9, you can apply for 2, you can apply for 1. But there is not, sadly, there is not much update to talk about because we are now, it's 14 months. It's been 14 months after the bill has been passed, and still no company has acquired the license. So the process has to be faster and it has to be easier. Otherwise, it would suffocate the industry totally.
It can be a documentational nightmare, I think so.
Sorry?
It can be a documentational nightmare.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Any other questions? Would anyone else like to?
I simply would like to add one remark. I mean, situation as we have seen is not that easy, but not hopeless. And maybe the metaverse are going to be the next step because the so-called virtual commerce, the v-commerce, maybe that will be finally a step towards mass adoption because there you have to use cryptos in the metaverse.
Yes. Well, I would agree with that. We've got a company we're around 50. We've got about 5 very, very young guys sitting, playing poker, walking around decentralized, buying land on the sandbox, a little bit over our head, the older guys in the company. But when we walk around, we kind of get an understanding that it's very, very young. It's a new industry, but youngsters, very young. I mean, I've got little nephews that 8, 9, 10, they get it. They're in there. Certainly the future. But in terms of being in a space, walking around in a virtual land, which seems to be, there doesn't seem to be anything that's going to stop that. So if you can imagine, I'm just bringing it back as well into an industry perspective and how the metaverse can help different industries, especially gaming. Again, it comes back down to conversion. These guys are always looking to convert. They've tried social gaming. Sorry to say it, but it didn't really work. That was 8, 9 years ago. Young kids don't want to go on and gamble real money. But the difference being with metaverse is that if you're somewhere, you've bought a token, you're already walking around, you've seen a company that's taken the trouble to pay money to advertise, which we do as a company as well. We have like a bank, cost a lot of money, and the accountants weren't very happy about that, but we can see the long-term gain in it. So conversion, bringing in new players, bringing in new customers, absolutely. I think the metaverse is here. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and we're going to struggle to keep our heads on top of it all and to really understand it all, but the younger generation probably won't.
Yeah, you're right about that because people who are 5 or 10 today, most of them are probably going to open their crypto wallet before they open their bank account. So the things will change when young generations start playing more.
And actually, Alex, that's funny because when I actually flew London the other day, I live in Spain, not very big on crypto over there, but in the UK it was funny. I was walking into a Dixon's just to go and get some headphones and stuff, and I heard the three young guys just all talking about which crypto they just bought, what they were doing. And I asked them, I said, look guys, do you save any money? Like, do you put money away? Yeah. Where'd you put it? Crypto. They would not. Obviously, you're not going to put it in a bank because of interest. I don't think the young generation think of anything else now apart from what would I buy with my money? What can I buy? Well, I'll buy a little bit of crypto, even if it's Shiba, even if it's a community-driven coin. It shows you that if you have enough people that believe or want it and tell enough people how you can actually create value in a token just from the community. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm the moderator. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk as much, but I do like to. So anyway, I think that's done. Unless anyone else has got anything else, we're zeroed out now. Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.